Hey, how are you doing? Welcome again. God is good, and all the time, God has been good. Is this one of the questions that's a challenge in your life, or you've been asking yourself, what will you do about this? And then you've not been getting the right answer. That who was this rock that Matthew was referring to in the book of Matthew, chapter number 16, from verse 13 through verse 18? Who was the rock that was Christ referring to? Was it Peter or Christ himself? That's the question. And I want us to slowly allow the Bible interpret to us. Leave alone the traditions, leave alone everything else. We want the Bible to explain itself to us. And prayerfully, let us read the book of Matthew, chapter number 16, from verse number 13 through verse number 18. Prayerfully, I will read from the King James Version of the Bible and use yours as we read slowly to understand who was the rock. When Jesus came into the coast of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, saying, "Whom do men say I, Son of Man, am?" And they answered, "Some say that thou art John the Baptist, some Elias, others Jeremiah, or one of the prophets." He saith unto them, "But whom say ye I am?" Simon Peter answered and said, "That thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God." And Jesus answered and said unto him, "Thou art blessed, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood hath not revealed this unto thee, but my Father which is in heaven. And he said unto thee, that thou art Petrus, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it." You see, Christ is referring to Peter as Petrus, and upon this rock. Now, who was Petrus? The word Petrus is a Greek name meaning movable. You can move, that thou art Petrus. You are movable. And upon this rock, the word rock means immovable. Now, if Jesus was referring to Peter as movable, what was the immovable thing that Jesus was referring to? That's what I want us to look at, and we want the Bible to explain itself. Now let's listen to one of the writers, Paul, explain who was the rock to us. We open our Bibles to 1 Corinthians chapter number 10, verse number 4. 1 Corinthians 10, we read verse 3 and 4. That's the best. Verse 3 and 4. Verse 3 says, "And did all eat that same spiritual meat." Let's read verse 4 together. "And did all drink that same spiritual drink from that spiritual rock, and the rock was Jesus Christ." So Paul is telling us that the rock in which they ate from was Jesus Christ. Maybe you may say that's not enough. Let's go to the Old Testament and listen to David explain to us. David, let's listen to Psalms chapter number 62. We read verse 1 and 2. Psalms 62, verse 1 and 2. Listen to David what he says. "That truly my soul waiteth upon God, from whom cometh my salvation." Let's read verse 2 slowly. Verse 2 says that he only is my rock. You see, David recognizes that God is a rock. And for instance, Jesus Christ is God and the Holy Spirit is God. And someone can ask me that, is Jesus Christ God? And I answer, yes, he is. Let's listen to the writer of Hebrews. Hebrews chapter number 1, we read verse 8. Hebrews chapter number 1, we read verse 8. "And unto the Son, he said," this God the Father speaking to the Son, "and unto the Son he said, Thy throne, O God." Listen, thy throne, is that God talking to Jesus? Yes. "Thy throne, O God." Let's read again. Maybe we've skipped something. Hebrews chapter 1, verse 8. "And unto the Son he saith, Thy throne, O God, thy throne, O God. You see, God the Father is referring to Jesus, God the Son, as God. Thy throne, O God, forever and ever. So Jesus Christ is God. And David says that truly my soul waiteth upon the Lord, from whom cometh my salvation. Verse 2, he only is my rock. So Jesus Christ, he is the rock. Is that enough for you to understand who was the rock in Matthew? Maybe we do the last verse. Let's read again 1 Corinthians chapter 3 verse 11. For there is no any other foundation that is laid, which is Jesus Christ. The foundation, being the rock, is Jesus Christ. The rock in which Matthew is talking about is Jesus Christ himself. Jesus saying that upon me I'll build my church, and there is no any gates of hell that you shall prevail against this. So Jesus is the rock, not Peter. Hope you find this meaningful and helpful. When you have any questions, please write it in the comments below, and share this video with very many else to understand these Bible trivias. Thank you.